so many different ways of figuring it out visually.
I think that's a really great point, Rebecca, because this number wheel, at least this very intricate pattern for 3s and 7s, it requires a lot of spatial cognition. So for students that struggle with spatial cognition, this might not click for them. Although it is a really great method to learn 3s and 7s at the same time, it may not click right for some students. So then we come over here, and this is the same purpose, but an alternative method, and it's essentially, it requires less spatial cognition. It's very straightforward. We have 3, 6, 9. Put a 1, 12, 15, 18, then put a 2, 21, 24, 27, and then it becomes numerical because they just have to remember the pattern is I add 0s to the first row, 1s to the second row, and 2s to the third row.
Go back to 3s,
and then
4s,
so on. 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8.
So it becomes less of a spatial cognitive task and more of a numerical, straightforward task. So there's many ways to play around with it, and whatever clicks for the student is what ultimately is the goal. But it's really amazing how there's so many different ways to go ahead and move forward with teaching these multiples and multiplication, addition, subtraction, and so I just think it's amazing how for some students that one works, and for some students this one's totally better, and they catch on so quickly. It's almost I think it's magical to me just how quickly they catch on. They think that the patterns are magic, but I just think how quickly that they're learning is magical to me, because I don't see that this replicated in the classroom at all. In terms of the kinesthetic learning, it's really unique.
And they literally see each other learning.
Yeah, and that's
and then
the
they
thing.
help each other too, which is so beautiful to see when they're like, oh, stand on that number, oh, it's that number, because they have the pattern. And then when they're helping out their friends are kind of maybe a little bit lost, but then they're helping their friends, and then their friends get it, and so then now they're working together and like, oh yeah, you go there, oh yeah, you go there, oh yeah, you go there. And so you know that when the student becomes the teacher, that's when they're really like, they know their things, and that helps their brains grow even more because they're teaching others, but yet they're also teaching themselves at the same time, and really like cementing that strategy or that topic into their minds.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing is just really getting at the collaborative nature of kinesthetic learning compared to in the classroom. It kind of becomes more competitive. You know, you're more trying to achieve the right answer, and it's who can get the answer first, versus out here we all need to share and we're all trying to learn, and there's no competition anymore.
It's more team building.
Exactly, it's very team building. It's very I think it's just unique in terms of the kinesthetic learning because it doesn't foster that sense of competitiveness. Even in the gamification, in the games that we're doing Simon Says, we're doing Monkey Nimble, these games aren't very competitive. There's it's more of we're all working towards the same goal, and if you get it today, that's great. If you get it tomorrow, even better. Like, you don't have to get it today. We're all working out here every day, and we're all just trying to have fun. The goal isn't to hit make sure that they understand certain topics. That we trust that they're going to catch on to those topics as we play the game, and as they learn the games, they're also learning the math. So I think it really removes that competitiveness that we see in the classroom a lot of times with math and trying to get the right answer, and it kind of adds this feature of collaboration in it and student-led learning that I think is really unique. And I think that really is fueled by the kinesthetic learning that this piece and this method kind of incorporates.
That's a really good point that you bring up, because I think there's something about the playground environment that automatically the walls go down. They don't have that wall up because they already feel comfortable. They're like, they immediately relate playground with play. And so they're like, oh, I know I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have fun. So that wall's already down. So that means they're already open to playing games or to learning, you know? And so it's like, that's a beautiful thing to see. Even though the classroom is fantastic, you know, and teachers have marvelous ways of like putting things together, and even bringing this in the classroom is a humongous possibility. Turning it into a board game is also another huge possibility. But yeah, that, like you said, just being outdoors in the playground environment, you're already starting off like at a really great point.
Yeah, I think the kids are in an optimal state of I'm coming out here to have fun. like I said, this creates a recreational environment for the learning environment. The learning environment becomes a recreational playground. And so I think that the kids are already in the state of, I want to learn. I'm going outside to have fun versus I need to sit at my desk for the next 20 minutes and I have worksheets to do and I have all these tasks to do. So we're achieving the same goal. We're all here for learning, but it's learning in a different way that I think is more approachable for students and less nerve-wracking, less intimidating, honestly, because I think that, like I said, in the classroom, it can be more of a competition just between students. Oh, that's the smart kid. He always raises his hand. I'm not going to get a shot. Versus out here, we're all on the same page. You can go over there and you can be on your number wheel. I'll work with this student, then I'll come over and check on you. And the kids are facilitating their own play at the same time that they're learning.
Yeah, and that's another great point. When you say like that smart kid who always raises their hand, that's the student that you want to have them engaged in being a teacher and asking them to help lead some of the groups and helping support their peers. So that's a really good point too, that you can use their strengths as well to help facilitate that team building. And then also the most important part of all of this, like they're building their social skills and learning how to work with each other, which is extremely important in our world today. So that's definitely a really great point that you mentioned that too.
Yeah. So I think as soon as they step on the playground, this becomes a recreational world, and if we can lower the barrier between what we talk about in the classroom and what we bring out to the playground, I think that's the ultimate goal, is to bring that learning outside of the classroom and continue that learning out here. And so what we're really capitalizing on here with the number wheel is just the practice. So they can learn the concepts in the classroom and then come out here and practice it on the playground.
Yes.
And so I think that's the goal that we're trying to achieve here, is really just getting that practice, that firming. And then if, on a good day, we can also get them to grasp new concepts just by seeing their peers do so as well. And so I think that's what we're getting at with the team building as well. That socialization aspect is really great in terms of being outside and being out here, removed from the classroom setting. The kids, like I said, are out here to have fun, and learning just comes as a second to that. And versus the priority being, I need to learn this, we're going to have fun first, and learning just comes naturally.
Love that.